Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a World Cup clash that is just massive. The stakes are sky high for two teams whose tournament journeys could not be more different.
All right, so we've got Sri Lanka versus South Africa, and this one is going to be a nail-biter. You've got two teams battling it out for their World Cup lives. But you know what? Their biggest opponent might just be this guy.
So first things first, what's actually on the line here? Because believe me, this isn't just another match. For both of these teams, this could be the game that makes or breaks their entire World Cup campaign.
Okay, get this. For Sri Lanka, things are, well, they're kind of weird. They've got 2 points, right? But they haven't won a single game. It's the rain that's kept them in the hunt. So if they can pull off a win here against a team like South Africa, that could kickstart an absolutely wild, completely unexpected run for the semis.
And then you've got South Africa. A lot of people are calling them the dark horses of this tournament. They lost their first game, sure, but since then, they have been on an absolute tear, winning 3 in a row. One more win here, and they're basically knocking on the door of the semifinals. They'll have one foot right in there.
All right, let's talk about the wild card, the one factor nobody can control, the Colombo rain. Seriously, you can't even have a conversation about cricket there without looking up at the sky. And it's already been a huge, huge player in this World Cup.
And I'm not just talking about a little delay here and there. Nope. The rain has been a total game changer. I mean, just think about Pakistan. They were on the verge of a historic win against England. And then, poof, the rain washed it all away. It completely changes the fate of these teams.
For Sri Lanka, the rain has been, well, a real double-edged sword. It's given with one hand and taken with the other. On the one hand, it gifted them a crucial point against powerhouse Australia in a washout. But on the other, it robbed them of a potential win against New Zealand when they were really in the groove with their batting.
Okay, so we know what's at stake, and we know the weather is a huge question mark. But how do these teams actually compare on the pitch? Because, man, they've taken very different roads to get here.
And you can see that story playing out right here in their recent form. Look at Sri Lanka. They are just desperate for that first win to get things going. And then South Africa, they are absolutely flying, just riding this massive wave of momentum after winning 3 straight, including a huge one against India.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. If you look at the all-time record, you'd think, oh, South Africa has this in the bag. They've dominated, winning 16 to Sri Lanka's 6. But look closer. Since the start of 2024, it's a completely different story. It's 2 wins each. That tells you the gap has shrunk. This isn't a David versus Goliath anymore. It's a proper fight.
So where is this game going to be won and lost? Well, often it comes down to key players. Let's zoom in on a couple of individuals who could absolutely be the difference makers here.
All right, first up for Sri Lanka, Nilakshika Silva. This is an incredible story. She's having this amazing late career comeback. Batting down the order, she's turned into this clutch finisher. And think about it. Having someone averaging over 44 since 2024 who can come in late and just explode, that's a massive weapon. She can take a decent score and turn it into a winning one, just like that.
But on the other side, you have the South African skipper Laura Volvaert, and her record against Sri Lanka is just, it's ridiculous. An average of 91. 91! Let that sink in. That means on average, every time she gets out against them, she's already put 91 runs on the board. That's more than just being in good form. That's a massive psychological blow to the bowlers before she even faces a ball.
And you can just feel that confidence coming from the South African camp. Their bowler, Nonkululeko Mlaba, basically said it herself. They were just in Sri Lanka earlier this year for a tri-series, so they feel like they've got the inside scoop, they know the players, they know the conditions, and you better believe they think that gives them a major advantage.
So, what do we got? We've got momentum versus home turf. We've got a captain who's a run machine versus a finisher who's on fire. And we've got the rain just waiting to stir things up. It's all just so up in the air. So what's actually going to tip the scales?
I mean, look at all the things to watch for. The pitch itself is going to get tougher for batters later on. So that coin toss, suddenly, it's huge. Whoever bats first might have a real leg up. Then you've got South Africa's amazing form, but you can't discount Sri Lanka's knowledge of their own backyard. And of course, looming over everything are the weather gods. Showers are in the forecast, so they might just have the last word.
Which brings us back to the big question. What's going to be the deciding factor here? Pure skill, red-hot momentum, or just a random downpour? You know, this one is genuinely too close to call, and honestly, that's what makes it a must-watch for any fan.